Seasonal change can have a big impact on curly hair. Humidity shifts, rain, wind, temperature swings, curls don't react the same way year-round. So I want to expand on that idea and start a seasonal routine series. In this video, we're starting with spring, and we're breaking down how to adjust curly hair routine for this transition season. We'll look at what makes spring weather unpredictable, how to adjust your wash day routine, and how to refresh your curls when humidity and rain start fluctuating. Spring isn't winter anymore, but it's not full summer either, and your routine has to reflect that. Now, depending on where you live, spring can look very different. In some places, it's still cool and rainy. In others, like here in Texas, it's already warming up and getting humid. So instead of focusing on the calendar, focus on what your weather is actually doing. In spring, the air starts holding more moisture, but not consistently. One day it's dry, the next day it's humid, then it rains, then it's windy. Humidity fluctuations causes frizz spikes. Rain swells the hair shaft and lifts the cuticle. Wind increases surface friction and tangling. Pollen can irritate the scalp. Temperature swings can affect how your products set and hold. Spring is just a little unstable, and instability can throw your curls off. When it comes to shampooing, you don't automatically need to increase your wash frequency in the spring. But it's important to pay close attention to buildup. Environmental debris starts increasing, sweat slowly increases, and you may find yourself styling more often or spending more time outside. So instead of overhauling your routine, focus on building awareness. If your roots start feeling heavier or your curls start looking dull, that's usually your cue to make small adjustments. With deep conditioning, winter usually calls for heavier moisture. Spring calls for balance. Too much heavy cream and fluctuating humidity can make your curls feel limp or overly soft. And that softness can actually make frizz worse once the air shifts. So if you're still using your winter products, you may have already started noticing these changes. The goal is to keep moisture balanced and lean towards lighter layers instead of heavy ones. Sometimes when seasons change, people assume they need new products. You might just need to use less, change the order, or swap something heavy for something lighter. Here's what that looks like in practice. In winter, you might layer a leave-in conditioner, a thick cream, and a strong gel. In the spring, it usually works better to lean towards a lightweight leave-in conditioner and either a mousse or a medium to strong hold gel, depending on the weather that week. For example, a few weeks ago, we hit about 80 degrees and I tested a lighter gel. By the afternoon, my hair had puffed up. That doesn't mean the gel is bad. It just means the humidity and heat needed more hold. Today, I'm wearing a humidity-resistant gel paired with a lightweight leave-in, and the difference is noticeable. My curls still move, but they're not expanding the same way. If you're curious about specific combinations that tend to work well in the spring, I've saved a few examples based on porosity on my Pinterest, and I break them down in more detail on the blog. Flexible hold handles mild humidity shifts better. Heavier creams can puff up when the air gets moist, and stronger gels start becoming useful when the spring weather begins acting more like summer. As I said before, sometimes it's not that you need a new product, you just need less of it. In spring, being mindful about how much product is applied can make a big difference. For low to medium porosity hair, which is what I have, heavy layering in humid weather can make curls swell and lose shape faster. So smaller amounts tend to work better. And stacking thick creams underneath gels is usually avoided. If you're lower porosity, applying products to soak in wet hair can sometimes dilute hold too much in the spring. Damp to wet hair often works better because the product can grip the strand instead of just sitting on top. If your hair is higher porosity, applying on wetter hair may still help smooth the cuticle before sealing. Regardless of porosity, even distribution matters more in the spring. Focus on smoothing products through sections instead of piling it onto the surface. Uneven application leads to uneven frizz, and fluctuating humidity makes that much more obvious. In the winter, you might rehydrate more aggressively because the air is dry. In spring, refresh routines should be lighter and more intentional. For example, if wash day is Sunday, Your week may look something like this. On Tuesday, do a light refresh. Use a controlled mist. A mix that works well is 1 part aloe vera juice to 1 part distilled water. Distilled water helps prevent mineral buildup, which is great if you're dealing with hard water. And the aloe adds slip without heaviness. Lightly mist, scrunch, and let the curls reset. On Thursday, you can refresh again, but only where needed. If certain sections held well, leave them alone. If the crown or the ends puffed up, apply a small amount of gel just to that area. On other days, skip a full refresh and simply retouch. That might mean smoothing one side with damp hands, re-scrunching, or securing the hair in a loose style if the weather is especially humid. For spring, the goal is light maintenance, not soaking your hair every other day, and not relayering heavy products. Wind is one of the most overlooked spring stressors. Even if your wash day went perfectly, constant friction from the wind can disrupt curl clumps, create tangling, and increase breakage over time. On windy days, it helps to secure your hair loosely instead of leaving it fully exposed. Loose protective styles can help. A claw clip, a low bun, a loose braid, or a satin scrunchie. If you prefer a sleeker look, you can smooth a soft or flexible gel over the surface and secure your hair in a high or mid bun. Just avoid pulling it too tight. Excess tension can cause headaches and unnecessary stress on the hairline. The goal is to reduce friction while keeping tension low. Spring routines aren't just about moisture and hold. They're also about protecting the hair from environmental wear. Seasonal transitions can also affect the scalp. In spring, some people notice mild irritation from pollen, increased shedding, or buildup from heavier winter products. A few simple adjustments can help keep the scalp balanced. Gentle scalp massages can help support circulation. Occasional exfoliation can help if buildup is present. And moderate oil use can help maintain balance as humidity increases. Light exfoliation may help with product buildup or flaky residue. But if flakes are caused by dandruff or scalp conditions, treatment shampoos are usually more appropriate than physical exfoliation. When it comes to oils, lighter options tend to work better in the spring. Examples include jojoba oil, which works well for most porosity types because it mimics the natural oils on your scalp. Argan oil, which is lightweight and comfortable for low to medium porosity hair, and grapeseed oil, which is very light and often preferred for low porosity hair or fine curls. Heavier oils may feel too occlusive as the weather becomes more humid. The goal during seasonal transitions is simple. Keep the scalp balanced so the curls growing from it stay healthy. If you want specific product suggestions or exfoliation options, you can check the blog post link below. Spring routines often go wrong when people keep doing exactly what worked in the winter. During winter, heavier creams and thicker layering make sense. The air is dry. But once spring arrives and humidity starts changing, those same products can start feeling too heavy. Sometimes it simply means you need to use a little less product, switch to lighter layers, or change the order in which you apply things. And like I always say, try adjusting what you already have before rushing to buy something new. This is the first video in my seasonal routine series. Spring is about flexibility and balance. The next video in this series will focus on summer routines because stronger hold, UV protection, sweat, and pool exposure start to matter much more. If your curls have felt inconsistent lately, look at your environment before assuming something is wrong with your products. If this video helped, feel free to share your spring curl challenges in the comments. And check the description for more resources, including my Pinterest boards and blog guides where I break down seasonal routines in more detail. See you on the next one.